Hey, cutie pies. I'm Lanikia, and this is what happened on the soaps. General, no, Days of Our Lives edition. I'm sorry, it's late, and I'm just out of it. I'm sorry. All right, Days of Our Lives. Y'all know this is my one of my. It's not my favorite soap, but I do like it. If they would get rid of this demon story, it could possibly be one of my favorite soaps because let's just talk about it. All right, let's get rid of this demon story. So Allie the demon has went over here and drugged Ben. And Ben is starting to realize something ain't right with this tea you done gave me. And so he was like, "You dressed Harry up as the devil?" And she was like, "Yeah, for Halloween and something." She was like, "Oh, you remember how Satan used to want your baby? I still want your baby, and I'm gonna take this one from Sierra." She was like, "I just need to get you out the way." And he was like, "Who are you?" And she said, "You haven't figured it out yet?" And he said, "The devil." And she was like, "Yes." And because he was looking at his tea leaves, when she had made him that tea, he was like, "Do that tea leaves look like a devil symbol or something?" It was. This girl is crazy. So, anyways, Allie went over there and drugged Ben, and so now he out of it. She pretty much telling him, "Don't you worry, I'm not gonna harm Sierra right now because she's carrying my baby." She's carrying the baby I want, so she's gonna be all right. But when she dropped that baby, it's a different story. And so Ben tried to fight it, but it was too late. He drank all that tea. It was too late. And so now Johnny is over there in the, I guess, what do they call that when, it's a bunch of different, it's like, how families in the, heck, it's, I can't think of what it's called. Anyways, so she has Johnny locked up in the place where it's a bunch of different, it's not graves, but you could have bodies in there. So she has him locked up there, and he watching Chanel and Trip out. They're over there, kissing, getting wasted, talking about forget those twins, and doing all that, getting drunk on some cherry bombs or something like that. And so now they feeling all mature and everything. I'm trying to think of how to say that without YouTube. So now they're feeling all mature and everything, and they're like, "Let's go." That's it. We can't go to your place. You live with your daddy. And she was like, "I live with my mama," and she was like, "Well, my mama been with them twins all day. She gonna be tired. Come on, let's go on with my mama's house." Because at first they was gonna stay, but the bartender told them, I can't serve y'all no more. Y'all already had enough. I done called y'all a cab." So they're like, "Okay, let's go to my mama place." Now over at Paulina's house, TR is there trying to squeeze up on Paulina, right? So he's trying to work his way into Paulina, right? But she got feelings for Abe, so he kissed her and stuff, and she like, hold up. I remember what it was like being with you and the pain that you caused Lonnie and I. I don't want you. But he was like, "I love you, and I'm gonna let you get time to figure this out," because he was like, "You're a good woman. And yeah, you did some stuff, that hurt Abe, but you're still a good woman and all that." He really talking to her, right? And so she tells him, you gotta go, like, because he trying to make her drink and all that. No, you're not gonna get her liquor wasted and try to get, slide on in. "No, sir, you're not gonna do it." She says, "It's time for you guys to go," or whatever. And he tells her, "I love you," or whatever. And she's like, I can't deal with this right now. But did y'all see where he clenched his fist? Cause his ain't nothing changed. Cause we already saw him getting all high and stuff. Nothing's changed about TR, but he want to work Paulina over because he wants that money she got, right? So he goes and he clenches his fist, but he telling her, "I love you, and nothing's gonna change. So I'm gonna be patient and I'm gonna wait on you." And she was like, "All right, but you can't wait on me right here, right now, not tonight." And so she sends him on his way, right? So then later on, she having a drink and she thinking about how she kissed Abe. Then she thinking about how Ray kissed her. And I'm like, "Listen, ma'am, go on, stay over there with Abe, because TR." He's no good. So Paulina is sitting there with her drink thinking about that when Tripp and what's her name? Chanel come in and they all wasted. She was like, "My mom ain't here," because her back was to Paulina. And Paulina said, "What y'all doing?" And they was like, "Oh, Mama, what you doing here? What you doing up? And then Chanel gonna be like, well, I'm finna go to my room. She said, no, you not. Paulina said, no, you not with that young man. And she said, now, Tripp, I like you, but wasn't just the other day, wasn't you chewing Chanel out? And he was like, I feel bad for that. She said, that's ain't the way you make up for it. She said, now listen, I'm gonna tell you, I've been in the past. All y'all gonna do is wake up and regret for doing this. Go home, Tripp. I'm gonna call you a cab. I'm gonna get you some coffee or some water, Chanel, and y'all not gonna literally regret this. And so when she leaves, Tripp and Chanel are like, yeah, we will regret it or whatever. But we're good friends, and we don't want to wake up in the morning like, well, oh my gosh, what did we do? And make it awkward and all that stuff. So they agree with Paulina that she right. So Tripp go on to the house. He gone to the house. Now, meanwhile, Johnny, Allie came back to the, is it the crypt? She's come back, right? And she tells Johnny, you want to finish watching? He says they left the bar. Now, he should have told her, yes, I want to finish watching, because if he had, he would have saw that they ain't do nothing. But he said, what did you do to Ben? And she said, I took care of it like I was. He was like, oh my God, you killed Ben. She said, no, I ain't kill him, but you finna have some company. So then the next scene we see, Ben is up in there with Johnny. He said, why are you locking him up if he dead? She said, oh my gosh, you the dumb twin. She was like, he's not dead. So Ben wakes up and she said, he was like, Sierra. And she said, is that the only word you know? She was like, Sierra's fine. But I'm finna go on over there and take, I gotta make sure my precious baby is doing okay. Hurry this story up. So then we go to Abe. He go in there and he tell Kate, he go to in the Brady's and he tell Kate, give me a gin and tonic, a G and T, make it a double. And Kate said, what's going on with you? And he tells her about Paulina and she kissed him and she said, listen, because he was like, I thought you and Paulina didn't get along. She said, I talked to Paulina and we had a conversation actually. On the day I think he told her he couldn't forgive Paulina. She said we had a conversation. She said knowing what I know about what Paulina went through and why she did what she did and the lies she told and had to tell and everything, she was like, I say give her another chance. And he said that he thinks that she's falling for TR or whatever. And Kate said, honestly, when people are in abusive relationships like she was, it's not surprising that they would fall for the abuser again, because you know how trauma bonds work. And so she was like, what do you think? Do you think TR has changed? Kate don't think he's changed. You could tell by her tone and everything. And he said, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters if Paulina thinks he has changed. And she said, listen, I'm going to tell you, if Paulina goes ahead and goes back to TR, she gonna need somebody to fall back on, be there. And I'm like, she wouldn't need somebody to fall back on. Just be with the woman. If you would just go and be with the woman, or at least give her some kind of hope. And she would shut everything down with TR, which she pretty much is right now. But I think she gonna end up. I don't know what's gonna happen. Somebody get TR. So then we go over here to Beth. Beth is trying to tell Lonnie what happened with Eli, because remember that TR let it slip that he was the one who shot Eli. So she's trying to tell Lonnie what happened, and here comes Julie. Okay. Here she comes in and she breaks it all up, talking about, what are you doing here? You barely knew him. Well, I mean, and I'm like, ma'am, if you would let the woman talk, like, let the woman talk, because, what kind of detective work is this? Ma'am, come on now. So she trying to tell her what's going on with TR and everything, but she can't get it out because Julie is like, what are you doing here? Like, you barely knew him and you sending flowers or whatever. And she's like, yeah, and then she says, Lonnie said she had to tell me something. So then they say, what is it? And then TR comes in because, Paulina kicked him out. So he came over here with some sweets and stuff. And Beth hijacks it out because they said that Beth is like, I'm out. And so she leaves or whatever. And Lonnie said, well, she had something to tell me. Something came up today and it was information she thought I should know. Oh, God. And so then we see that God. So then we see, I'm like, God, why you keep talking in front of your daddy like this? So then Julie tells him, it looks like she got nervous or got shook when you came in. Must have not have ended, the relationship must have ended badly. He said, why do you say that? She said, well, for relationships to end, normally it's because something wasn't swimming well, or whatever. But she tells him, she says, now I know you said you want to change. This is Julie talking to TR. But if I find out that you haven't changed or you hurt anybody that I care about, you're gonna have me to deal with. And he said, I'm a changed man and all that. But then he leaves because she putting his feet to the fire, so he gets on up out of there. Plus, he got to go see what Beth wanted because he asked Lonnie about it, and she said she found out some information today again. And so he like, I got to go and check on Beth, but he didn't tell them that. So then Julia's like, did I go too hard on him? And she was like, no, I think he got the message. And they were like, I wonder what she wanted. She was like, I don't know, but if it could have been too important, or she would have said something, girl. Oh God, oh my God. So then Tara goes up to Beth's door, right? Her hotel room she's staying in. He knocks, and he knocks again. Beth, it's me, TR. I said, Beth, don't you answer that door. Don't answer that door, girl. But Beth went and answered the darn door, right? And he said, what was you doing with my daughter? And she said, I didn't say anything. I didn't tell her anything. He said, yeah, but you were going to. And he said, I thought we had an agreement. She should have known something was wrong with the man when he growled at her on the last episode. I'm like, ugh. She should have known, don't mess with this man. But Beth opened the door and I said, ma'am, please don't let this man in your room. Please don't let this man in your room. But she backing up in the room instead of coming forward or whatever. What are you gonna do? And he said, what I should have done when you first came around. And he closed that door because she done backed up all up in her room and stuff. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He closed that door and Beth screamed. So I mean, I'm assuming he done killed her. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming that's what went down in that room. All right, guys, that was Days of Our Lives. I hope they hurry up and get rid of this demon story. I want them to hurry up and wrap this up about Eli, with TR. Although this is pretty good. It's a pretty good story, but wrap this up. It's been going on too long. But yeah, that was the book. What story? Days of Our Lives today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for a new episode.